What does the market feel like right now? Well, it's like electric. It's like the nightclub where lines are out the door. There's a capacity constraint.
I think there's a confluence of a lot of different things. AI is the big one, and everybody's talking about AI. Is there any value still left in San Francisco?
Absolutely. What does it feel like today versus a year ago?
Yeah, it's a good question. Single family homes are leading the charge right now. That supply and demand, there just aren't many of them.
Yeah.
Everybody wants them.
Yep.
Stepping on each other to get them.
Yep. But if you really want to win in this market, you got to have.
Welcome to the Real San Francisco podcast, where the pulse of the city meets the truth of the market. We go beyond the headlines to bring you stories, data, and insider takes from those who live and breathe the city we love. Ready to get real? Here we go.
This is our summer 2026 market update.
It's been one for the record books.
It's been a ride.
Starting January 1, it has just been, it's felt like nonstop. I feel like I have not slept in 150 days. It's just been nonstop. And I think that's indicative of San Francisco being back.
I think there's a lot going on. I think there's a confluence of a lot of different things. AI is the big one, and everybody's talking about AI. Is that true?
It's
AI
true. It is true.
And it is.
It is true.
100%
Yeah,
true.
I would say 1/3 of buyers are AI, minimum.
And then you've got just the resurgence of San Francisco. It's cool to live in San Francisco again.
Yeah.
Not that it haven't been, but perception-wise.
Yeah.
The headlines now have turned to, San Francisco is the epicenter. And I would agree.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just seeing an explosion of people and so many relocation clients.
Yeah.
More than we've seen over the last couple of years. People are coming in from New York. They're moving up from LA.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then coming back to the office. I think the back to the office mandates
were huge. And that went into effect years ago, at least over a year ago. But we've been seeing that people started to rent and then they're now wanting to buy, right? And so, and rental inventory is hard to come by. We're at record highs for rents.
Yeah.
We're at record highs for purchases. Now, when we sort of normalize for CPI, for inflation, we're sort of roughly back where we were in 2019, right? Because there's a lot of inflation since 2019 over the past 7 years. But still, just looking at year-to-year appreciation of single-family homes, I mean, we've seen 25, 30%, in some cases 35% appreciation, different pockets of the city, different types of products. It's really been robust. And it's a function of there being more buyers than sellers. Simply put, right? It's macro econ 101. It's supply and demand. That's it.
That's what's
going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
Simply put, it's supply and demand. And that is what's driving the market right now. We just do not have the inventory. We have an influx of buyers. And even we have seen inventory tick up, but the absorption is just following behind it and increasing behind it. And so it doesn't look like it on its face.
So what does the market feel like right now? Well, it's like electric. It is. It's like people want to get in. It's like the nightclub, which I thought I sort of graduated from, but we're back in it. It's like where lines are out the door and people are trying to get in.
And there's in line.
Yeah, and there's a capacity constraint, right, for the venue. It's the same thing for here, right? There's only one buyer per property who can be successful, and the rest are emboldened, sad, dust their shoulders off and try again. And at a certain point, somebody says, I'm tired of losing. I want to win. And that's when you start to see homes like listed for 8 that go for 15. It's, these people who are winning are saying, you know what, I've lost too many times before. Or in some cases, I just want to play to win, right? And so I would say it's electric right now. I'd say there's a lot of energy in the market in San Francisco. I'd say that, people are saying, I want in before all of these companies go public. Right. That's like a refrain I feel like I hear multiple times a day from buyers. Right. So we ask the question every time we're working with clients at the beginning, we say, so, why now? And I would say at least half the answers are, we don't think we're going to be able to find a property once there's 5x the people looking for that.
Right.
And we would rather do this now.
Right. And I think there's that froth and that excitement in the market. And now we're also on the flip side of that seeing some fatigue.
Yeah.
And I think that has been going on since the beginning of the year, and some prior it started
before
to escalate.
too, for sure.
And I think people now, because of those exponential jumps we're seeing in prices and the competition in the market, it's a tough market for a buyer.
Yeah. You know, what does it feel like today versus a year ago?
No, it's a good question.
Right.
It's a good question.
I think I'd start with saying that a year ago, the market was feeling really good too, right? Like people wanted to be back in San Francisco, right? So a year ago, spring 2025, all right, the city's ushered in a new administration, right? New city hall leadership, in the impact of that was felt pretty immediately.
Yeah.
So the market, I feel like from December, or really like November, December 2024 into January, February, March 2025 was like, it really jumped significantly. There was a perception,
right?
There was that things were changing for the better. Back to work policies were starting to come to a head, and people were coming back to the city. And of course, AI as a
I was going to say, it's interesting as you say that.
It was all ramping.
It's
together.
interesting. It was like the beginning of all of those things that are really pulsing now.
Yeah.
And it's that and it's interesting to think about that, because I remember now we went down to Ocean Beach, and it was right as the elections were going on, and it was talking about all of these things happening, and they were all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
And now we're seeing the fruition.
The confluence of those things, and there's a compounding effect. Right. And you just stack it, and it's like 1 + 1 + 1 doesn't equal 3. It's like it equals 10 or 100, right? And so we were feeling the early days of the excitement and the momentum in the market. And we were hearing those refrains that we're now hearing all the time. We were hearing early indicators that was saying, hey, we feel San Francisco's back. It's time to buy in.
Right.
It's time to buy in before it's 2x the price or 50% higher, right?
I think, and here's a question that I think people would be interested in. Is there any value still left in San Francisco?
We're still relatively inexpensive for global cities. You can look at so many cities across the world, right? Whether you're looking at England, whether you're looking at various cities in Australia, whether you're looking at Hong Kong or Singapore. The list goes on. And our prices per square foot or square meter, however you're calculating it, is still far lower than so many of our sister and brother cities. This is just, I think, the beginning. Replacement costs right now in San Francisco are still far higher than purchase price. That doesn't really make sense. In other words, like if you could buy something for 10, but you need to get insurance for 15 because it would take 15 million to replace it, that's a $5 million delta. That's a 30% delta, right? And so I think we're going to start to collapse on replacement costs in the coming years. I think we're not far away from, we've been talking about this for years. I think the time will come, and the time is soon, that we will start to see parity with replacement costs and purchase price, and we'll see parity with other global cities, because we're relatively inexpensive to many of them.
Right. I think relative is where, because if people look at just this market and look at the recent history, they say, it's Noe Valley, it's going towards 2,000 a foot. And I think that seems excessive in relative terms, looking at a focused lens in just the past few years. But to your point, exactly, if you back it out, look more macro, look at the globe and where things are going. And I think people always ask us that too, of, is this something that if I buy at this price, am I going to lose money? And I think anybody that tells you they know, and has a crystal ball, I would question. But the way things are going, we saw an apex, I think 22 turned, we saw things, everybody asked, where's the bottom?
2023.
Right. And now, and again, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We've learned that in the last 5 years. But if things keep going the way they're going,
I think we're sort of inning 3 or 4 in our sort of 9-inning cycle. But this might be, we might be in extra rounds and extra innings, right? Like with all the confluence of these factors that are driving demand and interest in the market, we might have a 12-inning game. We might have a 15-inning game. But I would say a cycle is usually 3 or 4 years. We're a couple years into it. We have another, 2 years left-ish. Yeah. But again, this may be a very different cycle. It's hard to predict. Look, if you're looking to buy a home for your life, it's like most people don't day trade. You hold the asset for a long time. And if you're planning to be here for 5, 10, 15 years, okay, so maybe you're buying it at a good time, or maybe you're paying a little bit more, but it will even out and appreciate over time, right? That's the guidance that we like to give our clients.
Let's talk about market sectors, property types. because single family homes are leading the charge right now. That supply and demand, there just aren't many of them.
Yeah.
Everybody wants them.
Yep.
They're stepping on each other to get them.
Yep. Yeah.
But then some people looking at single family homes, those condos that live like single families will give you more square footage for a better value. I think it's, it's interesting across those different property types.
Yeah. And then, house-like condos, like our listing at 2468 Broadway, you got 4,000 feet across 3 levels, big views, no parking, but it lives like a single family home. It's a condo. I mean, the interest there has been incredible, right? Yeah. We're already in contract, millions of dollars, well over 50% above our list price, right? And that's a story for another day. But I think homes, house-like condos, house-like residences are just accelerating through the roof. But I think people just want to be here in San Francisco. So I think rising tides lift all ships. Yeah, that's the truth. Let's talk about who are like the personas or the profiles of the buyers right now in the market.
Right.
Let's talk. Of course, there's the perennial tech profile, right? And that also encompasses AI as well, right? But I think for the purpose of this conversation, we can say tech and we can say AI. Those are two distinct overlapping types of people, or at least their backgrounds.
And I think it runs the gamut in San Francisco. And again, the micro markets in San Francisco and the different neighborhoods. And I think your different neighborhoods command different buyer profiles, 100%. Downtown in the high rises. Yes, you get your families, but is it more of the, young, kind of urban professionals?
Absolutely.
Whereas Noe Valley, you're getting more of your families, and that's family driven. You're seeing, 80% maybe families there. So I think it's interesting as you look at these different neighborhoods and these different micro markets, your different buyer profile there. But I think that, again, it's AI and tech, and with now offices coming back into the city, this San Francisco coming back, I'd say that's something that I mentioned earlier, but the relocation, there are a lot more people coming in to San Francisco, relocating for work or, otherwise. Let's talk about summer strategy.
Summer loving.
Going into summer, people leave the city. They forget about real estate. They go to other places, enjoy the warm weather. That's sometimes in San Francisco and sometimes not. But
not everybody.
Those that want to buy a home.
Those who want to buy a home, even if they're away, they are getting their things in order. They are building the foundation for success. If you're looking to buy before the end of the year, now is the time to just get things in order. It's all the things that we've already discussed, right? It's getting your team together, right? Your real estate team. Lock in your real estate partner now, right? 2, your financing partner, or if it's cash, make sure that's organized, right? If you have an entity, set that up, get that right. I mean, there's a litany.
Start paying attention to the market. Start tracking. Start looking at.
Know what money can buy. Know how fast things go. Right. Make sure that you have access to off markets, not just on markets. Most agents are focused on the on market inventory. That's where most of it sells. But if you really want to win in this market, you got to have a winning playbook. It's as simple as that. There's some sport teams that just do it well year after year, and there's some that just don't. And there's a playbook. It's the players that you have around you and the right strategy executed flawlessly. And that's what's so important.
Inventory does come on in the summer. And so it's being ready, it's being prepared. And if it's going to be the fall, then you're ready from day one, or you're ready from day 0. You're prepared ahead of time. That when the inventory starts hitting, you're ready to go after it. And it's not, a lot of people, they come back and they're settling in and they're missing things. It's about being focused, having that system, having your team, and being ready to jump when that home comes along.
100%. And it starts with the real estate agent team. Why? Because that real estate agent team is, at least what we do for our clients, is we help them organize around winning strategy, develop that. We take what's worked for hundreds of our clients and customize it, because no client's the same. Everybody's different, and customize it for them. And that's what needs to be done. But build that first. It's like, you don't want to, build the plane while you fly it, ideally, right? Ideally, we're taking off with the fuel in the tank, with clear skies, with a real, like a compass that's like our North Star. Like, we want those things set ideally, so that we can really be focused on the things that we need to evaluate on a case-by-case basis.
That's right.
For instance, like when we come across a new home, like we got to diligence that home. We didn't know about that home before. We don't want to have to be worrying about things that we could have done ahead of time, like figuring out how we're going to pay for it, like figure out how, do we like the neighborhood? Do we like these blocks, et cetera?
The takeaway is that those that prepare in the summer are winning in the fall.
That's right.
Especially with this market, all that we've talked about being so competitive, limited supply. So, that one that comes along, you don't want to miss it because you don't know if there's going to be the next one. And when will that be is an unknown. So you want to be prepared.
That's right. 100%. I want to close with a few things. One, if you're looking to buy this year, now is the time, if you haven't already, to build a plan that works, that's rooted in success, that's a playbook that winners use. If you have not developed this playbook yet, you don't yet have a real estate agent, partner, and team, reach out to us. We'd love to chat with you. The market's going to move quickly. We only have a couple months left of this year of real strong market activity. And so prepare, right? Prepare. Also, the market is electric now, and we think it's going to just
keep going.
It's
just going to keep going, especially with the IPOs.
Right? This is the new norm, and I think we're just going to continue to set another. There's going to just be another rung of how, like, the intensity and the competitiveness. So it's time to step up.
Get your systems, get your plans.
Let's do this together. Reach out.
Thanks for spending the time. If you found this helpful, reach out, sign up for our newsletter, subscribe. We hope that we keep you informed on the market, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you soon.